In music, they call them one-hit wonders. It is a song, or in this case, a game that is unbelievably good and it stands out. Video game developers milk the hell out of franchises such as Mario, Call of Duty, Zelda, Final Fantasy, and really the list can go on. But there are some great games that haven't had sequels in quite some time. So this is a list of the top 10 games that have never or just haven't had a sequel in a very long while that really should. So let's jump right in and see what made the list. And here it is. At 10, Killer Instinct. The fighting genre at the time was owned by Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and this game wasn't a knockoff, it was a pretty well-designed game. After Killer Instinct Gold came out on the Nintendo 64, fans have been waiting for a new game from Rare, but years and years and years later, we may never see Saberwolf again. In Eternal Darkness. The horror genre has been owned by Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and on the GameCube, Silicon Knights released this masterpiece. The story was phenomenal and the mood was just so creepy, and it's just strange that they haven't made a sequel yet. At number 8, Wizards and Warriors. Probably no one saw this one hitting the list, but whatever Fabio wants, Fabio gets. This series hasn't been around for a while, but there is just so much they can do for this series if they were to make a sequel. The blockbuster hit Iron Sword showed that the gameplay was amazing, and I for one would love to see Kuros back in action. At number 7, Diddy Kong Racing. A lot of underdogs in this list, but hear me out. This game took what Mario Kart had and combined it with the airplane and a hoverboat. This game's tracks were amazing, and it also mixed Super Mario 64 with racing. I would love to see a sequel to the game and beat the hell out of the Whizpig. At number 6, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. In 1993, this game was insanely popular. It had the gameplay that you would think would scream out for a sequel, especially if they mixed it with the gameplay of the Four Swords. With all the zombie games that the developers are milking these days, I wonder if they'll ever make a sequel to this game. At number 5, Little Nemo the Dream Master. This is actually a movie-turned game, but if you get past that and you see the epicness of this game, you'll love to see another one. There's just so much to the game. The concept of the dreams, feeding candy to the animals to use them as power-ups is just brilliant. So come on, Capcom, and just make another one. At number 4, Earthworm Jim. This game was a perfect mix of comedy and action all in one. With characters like Princess What's-Her-Name and Hell the Cat, you just can't help but laugh. The last two games in the series were really big disappointments, and the developers need to work hard if they were to make a sequel, because it would just turn out so groovy! At number 3, Startropics. Mike Jones was set to be the new Link, and boy was he up to bat to this great game. He also starred in Nick Arcade for a while for advertising this game. Nintendo did make a sequel to the game, only it was on the already dead NES back in 1994. But given how popular Uncharted is, I would think Nintendo should be jumping on board on this game. But I guess we'll have to be putting bananas in our ears, just waiting and waiting. At number 2, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. This was probably one of the greatest games in video game history. Its gameplay was amazing, and it's f***ing hilarious. It's just shocking that they haven't made a sequel to this game. They did take about 2 years to make a remake, but the remake was not what we wanted. We just want another Conker game. So what game is at the top of this list? At number 1, Battletoads. It is insane how many Rareware games there are on this list. They are sitting on a gold mine. But at the top of the pile is Battletoads. There is a reason why people call GameStop asking for the new Battletoads. There is a reason why God gives us zits, rashes, and pimples all over us. He's waiting for another sequel. If any of these games on the list was to be made into a sequel, this would win by popular vote. So Rare, if you're listening to this, get on this. And that was my list of the top 10 games that need sequels. Again, if these ever become sequels, I really wish developers shouldn't rush the games, and they should give time and thought so that these games can be epic and huge. And thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.